titled this reflection homily, "You too can be a good shepherd." Can you please turn to your neighbor and say, "Neighbor, you too can be a good shepherd." In fact, say, "Neighbor, you must be a good shepherd." Amen? When we talk about pastors or shepherd, in Nigeria here, we should have an understanding of what it means. Most especially those who have been in the north, where we have the nomads, the herdsmen, who were taking care of the flock. And some of them, to be honest, live or relate with their sheep or the flock, just as we have seen it mentioned in the gospel today, even ready to lay down their lives. A Fulani can stand and fight a wolf, a lion, just to defend a little sheep. And when the sheep, I've seen them sick or weak, and you will see them carry the sheep, the little lamb, on their shoulder or on their hands. It's a sign of a good shepherd that we are talking about today. This Sunday got its name, Good Shepherd Sunday, because from the gospel of every fourth Sunday, we read John chapter 10. And today we are reading John chapter 10 from verse 11 to 18. Last year, year A, we read John chapter 10 from verse 1 to 10. And today, John 10:11, Jesus said, "I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep." Good shepherd is not a title. It is not a title. It is a way of life. It is a style of life. Similarly, Christianity is not a title. That I am a Christian is not a title. It is a style of life. The way you live your life will tell the people that you are a Christian, Christ-like. In Acts of Apostles chapter 11, verse 26, it was in Antioch that the believers were for the first time called Christians. Why? Because the people saw the way they lived their lives. So it's not a title, it's not to say I am a Christian, and similarly, it's also not a title to say I am a good shepherd or I am a shepherd. It is a way of life. Are you really living it? Is your life in your family, in your vocation, in your profession, occupation, wherever you find yourself, in the school, is it a life of a good shepherd? When we talk about good shepherd, it also implies that we have bad shepherds as well. We have those who are not living up to the standard. And Jesus in the gospel today gives us a very good example of one who is not a good shepherd. And he says that he is a hireling, the one that you have hired to do a job. The way your nanny will take care of your children and you are paying her is not the same way that you, the mother, will take care of your children. When there is danger, fire got a house, God forbid, the nanny will run for her own life. We save her life. But you as a mother will try all in your possible best to save your child, you will struggle to do that because you are not a hireling. You are the owner. You are the good shepherd, presupposedly. So Jesus says that he who is a hireling and not a shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, is not the owner of the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees. He runs away. And the wolf snatches them and scatters them. He flees because he is a hireling and cares nothing for the sheep. But he said, I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and my own know me. My dear friends, we are all called to be good shepherd. As teachers, as priests, as doctors, engineers, lawyers, parents, market women and men, politicians, we are called. Don't forget what I said. Good shepherd is not a title. It is a way of life. It's a style of life that is transformed, that cares, that is selfless, a life that cares for others. So in all this profession, you are not selfish. You don't become a teacher for yourself. I am not a priest for myself. You are not a medical doctor for yourself. You are not a parent for yourself. You are a parent for someone. You are not an engineer for yourself. Even when you are an engineer constructing the road, it's not for yourself, but for others. You are not a consecrated person for yourself. You are not a husband just for yourself. You are a wife for someone. You are a husband for someone and for people. So it is a service. To be a good shepherd is to look after the sheep, the flock that you have answered that vocation for, that call for. Whichever vocation, whichever calling, area that God has called us is our vocation, and we are called to answer it for people. And we have people who have answered the call even before us, and they lived it well. People like Mother Teresa, who was a consecrated nun and went to live with the poorest at Calcutta. He went to live with them and offer her life, her service for those who have received the less. She gave everything to the poor. And she lived the life of Christ. You could see in her Christ. When I say that we too are called to be good shepherd, it means that when people look at us, they will see Christ in us. We become another Christ, the good shepherd, by the way we do things and by the way we live our lives. And we know of Saint Pope John Paul II, who was a pope, but was down to earth. Pope for the children, for the young people, Pope for the poor, for the marginalized, for the rejected in the society. He was a pope for them. Simplicity of life. A good shepherd is not arrogant. A good shepherd is humble, is simple. So he was down to earth. And we know a politician who soon may be canonized. Even as a politician, you are called to be a good shepherd. You know Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, who was the former president of Tanzania. His course for canonization or beatification is going on. He's already a servant of God. But he was a politician with different. He was selfless. He put the people first at the center, not himself. The welfare of the people, of the nation. That when he died, they had even to build a house for him. He had the money of the whole nation in his hand. but he never used it for himself. That is a good shepherd. That you have been entrusted with people's life, people's wealth, and you serve them with it and not serving yourself. That is a good shepherd. So we have these people who have lived this good example. Pope Francis give us example, 3 examples of or models of good shepherd. And I want us to learn from these 3 models. Pope Francis said that a good shepherd is in front. In front. That is number 1. That a good shepherd is one who leads. A good shepherd is a model, is an icon. In our profession, in our vocation, as a priest, I lead, I show good example. You as a father in the family, you show good example to your wife and your children. You as a mother, you are in front. You are a good wife, and your daughters are learning how to be good wives from you as the mother. So you are a leader. So he said a good shepherd is in front, and he is leading the sheep. All of us are called today to lead, to show good example. And that is what Christianity is all about. To be a light that others are seeing and they are walking on the path. We are called to show, to be in front of the flock, to go ahead. And that is the question we should ask ourselves today. Am I leading by my way of life? It's not by talking, but my way of life. Am I in front and others are looking up to me? There are many people who are looking up to us. Even sometimes you are not aware of it. But there are people who are looking up to you. And when you fall, they too will fall. And they will say, if you can do this, then I will do the same. So we are models as good shepherd in every aspect of our lives. Wherever you find yourself, know that you are called to be an example that others will follow. And Pope Francis said that the second one is that the good shepherd is within. Number 1 is in front. Number 2, the good shepherd is within the flock. He is not indifferent. He is not aloof. You don't live the life of I don't care about what is happening to people. What is happening to my family as a married man. You don't care about your wife, your children. I, as your priest, I don't care about the flock, what is happening to you. That is not a good shepherd. When you are indifferent, people are suffering, you are not sympathizing with them. You are not empathizing with them. You are not a good shepherd. So a good shepherd is not indifferent, but he feels the pain of others. That is why today we have politicians who are leaders, but not good shepherds. They don't feel our pains and our sufferings. They are not sentimental to what we are going through. They live aloof. They are indifferent. And that is not the life of a good shepherd. Pope Francis says, as a good shepherd, you feel the pain of others. And he used a very beautiful statement. He says, a good shepherd smells like the sheep. He has the smell of the sheep. That you smell like others. You smell. In other words, he means that you feel what other people are feeling. That is a good shepherd. We are living in a society, in an economy that is so hard, so difficult, so challenging. How do you live your life? Even as a Christian, you know, there is something we don't know as Christians. That is the beauty of Catholicism. That you may have money and you cannot use it anyhow. It is your money. But the church is saying it is not your money because God gives it to you. And Paul will say, what do you have that you did not receive? That is the beauty of Catholicism. that you cannot live the way you want. Look at our bishop. He has the money even to have a private jet, but he cannot have it because he's a Catholic, because he's a shepherd, and he can feel the pain of the sheep. He cannot be flying up there, and you, the flock, you are down here. That is the life of good shepherd. You smell the smell of the sheep. Are you smelling the smell of the sheep? Are you living indifferent? Are you saying it's not my business? I don't care about what is happening there. At least I am safe. You know, this is the attitude of some of us. That is not the attitude of a good shepherd. So Pope Francis is saying a good shepherd is the one that associates. It does not segregate. It does not isolate anyone. And this is the church we preach. The family in love, where the poor and the rich, where the Igbos and the Yorubas, where the Efik and the Domas, we live together as brothers. There is no class society in the church. In the Catholic Church, everybody sits wherever you have your seat. We cannot preserve the particular seat for rich people. Even if you give us 5 million as offering, you sit where other people will sit. That is the life of good shepherd. That is the church where there is a good shepherd. All of us. So we feel and we associate with others, the rich and the poor. We don't segregate. We don't sideline people. We don't look down on people. We don't discriminate people because they are not rich like us, because they are not intelligent like us, because they don't have like us. So we only mingle with people who are rich. One of the politicians in Nigeria told us once upon a time that the greatest wisdom and lesson of his life he learned from a madman. That person you are rejecting, that you are pushing away, may be the one that will save your life. The good shepherd smells the smell of the sheep. And I encourage all of us to smell the smell of the sheep, especially those of us who are privileged, those who have. The church is saying you can't live anyhow with your wealth. You must live a balanced life in the society. Even if you have the money to live higher than others, but your neighbors are poor. The church is saying, the social teaching of the Catholic Church is saying, bring yourself down. Bring yourself down a little bit. That is the life of a good shepherd. And Pope Francis said the last one. He said, the good shepherd is behind the flock. Don't forget the 3 elements. Number 1, the good shepherd is what? Let me know if you are paying attention. In front of the sheep. Number 2, within the sheep. Number 3, behind the sheep. Yes. Pope says we must be behind others. We must support the people, the weak, the fragile ones, the sick, the aged. That we must be behind the people to give them support that they need. That is what a good shepherd is. A good shepherd is not always in front, but he will be in front to lead. A good shepherd is not always in the middle, but he will be in the middle too. A good shepherd is not always behind, but he will also be behind. We must have these 3 abilities as good shepherd: to be in front to lead, to be within to lead, to live with others, and behind to guide and to lead. And this is the church I am proposing for all of us, starting from me, the pastor, today. Because the parish priests are called pastors. The bishops are called shepherd. They are the same thing, similar. And that is why you see the bishop is having what we call the crucia, is the cross that bishop carries. And if you see the bishop of the diocese, or the archbishop of a particular diocese, when he carries the crucia, you know, it has head is bent like this with the cross at the middle. The bishop of a diocese carries the cross and facing that thing that bend, that curve, in front. In other words, he's leading the diocese to God. He's leading them ahead is in front, is the shepherd. But at the same time, that is curved. Do you know the reason? That when the sheep are weak or going astray, he will use it to bring them back. A good shepherd is one that is behind to bring the sheep when they are drifting away, when they are going astray, he brings them back. And this is what we are called to be as a parish that looks after the weak, the sick, a missionary parish. We go out and look after our brothers and sisters that are sick. We do this through societies. We do this through organizations. Sometimes people said, Father, I was sick and you never visited me. I will not know because my knowledge is limited. And I acknowledge that. I am not God. I don't know everything. But then people belong to societies, organizations. And this is where they're supposed to visit them, or they are the ones to report to the pastor. Father, there is a sister that is sick. Let's go to meet him. Let's go to visit him. And to the best of my knowledge, those who have reported such and they have taken me there, we have gone to see them. We look for one another. All of us. You are not seeing a sister in the church again. Have you looked for that sister? You are not seeing a brother in the church for some months now. Have you looked for that brother? Your members are sick. Have you gone to visit them? And you know, this will be the judgment. Matthew 25. I was sick, you visited me. I was hungry, you fed me. I was in prison, you visited me. I was naked, you clothed me. I was thirsty, you gave me water to drink. Let us be church of good shepherd. Today, think about your life. Am I living the life of a good shepherd? Amen.